What's up, y'all? It's your boy Roy back here with another video, and today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be discussing about the Honda the Honda Shadow, both Aero and Phantom. And you're probably wondering, is there any differences? I will discuss about the differences, and I'm going to discuss to you all why these two bikes are one of my top considerations for getting a cruiser. And if you're interested, like I am, about learning more about these cruisers, stay tuned. I got you. All right. Now, let's get into discussing what's first. What are the same things of what is the same about these bikes? So, with the help of ChatGPT, I used it to gather a lot of information and put it into one space. I've seen specs and stuff on different websites and stuff before because I've been looking at these bikes for a long time. However, ChatGPT makes it a lot easier for me to read out all this stuff and put it in context for you. Also, so you all know, Honda for their cruisers, they don't always put like horsepower and torques and stuff on the website. So sometimes you do have to look elsewhere to find it. So that's also pretty much why I also asked ChatGPT for the specs. So if you're looking for the what engine size it is a 745cc liquid cooled V-twin. All right. So that's one of the main differences differences it has from the Honda Rebel series and the Vulcan S650 series. Those two bikes are parallel twins. These ones are V-twins. They'll have that more classic style of sound that you would hear from a classic cruiser. They're both fuel injected, which is perfect for where I'm at now. I don't have to worry about like choking the carburetor and stuff. Even though I am in Texas, I know how to ride a bike that has a choke and stuff on it because I rode a type of bike like that in the MSF course. Less things to worry about. It'll start right up on a cold day. 5-speed manual. They don't have an option for DCT. I don't care. I'm here for the manual experience, so that's perfectly fine with me. It is shaft drive, both of them are. With those being shaft drive, it's a lot less maintenance than the Vulcan 650 and the Honda Rebel series. Those are chain driven. And if you all don't know the difference, when you have a chain driven bike, like a bicycle, like similar to like how the same chains like a bicycle have, but obviously a lot bigger and stronger, you have to maintain them chains. And or if you don't do that, they will get rusty and stuff. They get messed up. The chain slack will probably loosen, and if it pops off, that can cause some catastrophic damage. You'll have a chain popping off at like 65, maybe 75 miles an hour. You don't want that. So make sure that if you have a chain-driven bike, keep the maintenance on it. But when it comes to shaft-driven, that's way less maintenance. One of the main things that you will have to work on with a shaft-driven bike is the oil, for the most part. Maybe some other major stuff, but that's like 100 some odd miles or thousands of miles down the road. Probably way before you even like trade in the bike. Way after you will trade in a bike. So someone else probably have to deal with it. But yeah. So that's the benefits of having shaft drive. It's a lot more, I would say, it's a lot more less maintenance. However, it will last longer than chains, obviously, because you gotta switch out chain parts and stuff. You will have to change the oil in the shaft drive, but that's way later, so you don't have to worry about that. And also with the shaft drives, you don't have to worry about chain tensioning and stuff. So overall, less maintenance. Next will be the horsepower. Okay, so the horsepower for this engine, this one is not straight from the website, if I'm not mistaken. This one you have to like look around and stuff for. Horsepower is between 44 to 45 horsepowers, and that's for both. So the fuel capacity for the Shadow Aero, it should be the same as the Phantom, 3.9 gallons. They should have the same gas tank. Same forks, 41 millimeter fork. So you do have disc brakes for both of them, depending on you get the newer models. But on some of the older models, they do have drum brakes. So if you're looking for a used one, and you notice that the back one doesn't have drum brakes, also if it has drum brakes on the back, they are not normally ABS. So if you have an ABS model, you should have both disc brakes in the front and the back of the bike. Now, the main differences, at least specs wise, would be it probably maybe be the seat height. It says for some reason a different seat height, but it's around like either 25.9 or 26 on 25.6. The weight, the weight it should be different. It says between 550 to 560 pounds for the Aero, and for the Shadow Phantom, that would be 543 to 553. So that's specs wise what's the differences and what's similar. Mainly, they are like engine, totally the same. The wheels and stuff. No, I think the wheel. Yeah, I think the wheels should. No, the wheels probably are different. Everything else should be the same though. Now, the other main differences that they do have, it is styling. So the Aero, it does have a more classic cruiser styling. So like you think of like the cruisers that your grandfather or your grandmother had rode back in the day, right? Cruisers of the past, what you think of, it will most likely look like the Honda Shadow Aero. And it's more classic, more laid back, chilled. Even though the Phantom is still a chiller bike than like other bikes, the Aero is like the more like you sit back, you relax a lot more. It has a more relaxing type of style. All right, got that nice V-twin look to it. Also, I think it will look pretty good with one of those clear windshields. Awesome. I would love to get one of those. And that one, I would probably do the studded seat and studded bags. It'll look good with those. But that's like mainly, that's mainly the differences. They do have different colors too. Like a beautiful color I seen was the blue, I think it was like a blue and white one. It's the same one that Chase on Two Wheels read in one of his review videos of them. Lovely. Another thing that would be the difference that you will get from the packages, like if you just bought them straight out and they're like bone stock. On the Aero, it does have a two-person seat and the foot pegs and stuff, so that is actually already passenger friendly. Like I said before, more relaxed, traditional cruiser economics. The Phantom, that styling, they do style it more after of a bobber type of style. The years that I'm looking at, they are about like, I would say, I seen a few all black models. They got a nice, beautiful model that's black and gray, not black and gray, black and orange. They do have black and gray also. So those are the newer models I've seen recently. But beautiful styling. I would still ride that one if I got that at a good price too. Either one of these bikes I will ride. But the Phantom, that bike is more bobber, a little bit more aggressive looking, more blacked out design rather than the chrome design. That one I would probably get like semi fairings or whatnot for it. Make it look more like a bobber. It already has the bobber aesthetic, but I lean more into that. Now the ergonomics of sitting down is actually different because they got different handlebars too. For the Aero, it has more of like a relaxed, like more traditional cruiser handlebars, so it's like more relaxed. where the handlebars for the Phantom, it is more like straight and a little bit shorter. So I saw that a lot of people lean forward a little bit more with that one. So it's not as comfortable as the Aero. Also, with the Aero, you do not the Aero, with the Phantom, you do not get the passenger seats and the pegs. You have to buy that separately. So that's something to think of. Also, I don't know if you noticed, the fairings on, not the fairings, but the, yeah, I think like fairings or what covers the, I forgot what it was called. Yeah, the fairings on the wheels and stuff. On the Aero has it. The Phantom does not. It's they do have smaller fairings and stuff, and that's because with a Barber aesthetic, it's more stripped down. So it does have a more stripped down look than the Aero does. Also, it does save on the weight too. That's why there's a weight difference. So I talked about the brakes. They do got the same brakes unless you're buying like the modded. But no, same brakes because they do have the option for. They should have the option for the Aero also for ABS. But yeah, there's that. The wheels, the wheel design, they should be different. I'll show you. Well, you'll see the photos on the screen now to see what the difference of they're looking like. But yeah, those are like the main differences and similarities. Now, which one would I get? Ashley will get them. I'll get either or. Okay. Passenger-wise, obviously the Shadow Aero is already equipped for passenger. However, the Phantom, that Phantom look good. That Phantom look really good. I'll still equip that thing, get ready for a passenger. But yeah, I will definitely get both of them. Do I want them more than the other two bikes, the Honda Rebel and the Kawasaki Vulcan? Yes, I actually do. And I know I talked to you all last time about my criteria on bikes. What I've learned when it comes to bikes, also some about like the power to weight ratio. Good example, Honda, I told you the specs of the Honda Phantom, right? If I had the same specs, you see the specs of it, right? The horsepower, the torque, but also the weight of the bike. Because of how it is, yes, if I really, really twist the throttle, I could get myself into trouble, but it's not as likely as if I was to ride the Yamaha MT-07. It's around the same CCs, right? But that bike is so much lighter, it has so much torque and horsepower that if I was to just twist the throttle, I am guaranteed to pop a wheelie. And that bike can get away from you a lot quicker. And it's a lot faster than the Honda Shadow. That's why this type of bikes are a lot more like an exception to the 650, no more than 650 cc's rule because of the power to weight ratio. That reminds me, another thing that shaft drives do, they produce less power from the engine to the wheel. That's why the Vulcan 650 and the Honda Rebel 500, that's why they also, even though they are a lot smaller engines than the 750, they can get up and go because they weigh less. They're chain driven, and they have the horse to power. Yeah, power to weight ratio is a way different from a Shadow. But that's why I'm choosing these bikes. But I really do want the either the Shadow Phantom or the Shadow Phantom or the Aero, and because like also the size too. The size would be perfect to have my wife on the back. She should be comfortable, especially if I get like a 60 bar and stuff. Cruiser, I'd be able to put things in it still. It looks nice. If I pull up anywhere, people are gonna like the bike. And it doesn't matter what all the people think about the bike also. I love how it looks. I can already imagine I'm gonna look good on that bike. But also, what I'm planning on doing is do like I'm going, longer trips, longer rides. Shadow, Phantom, and the Arrow are really good for those. I might have to change the ergonomics of the handlebars for the Arrow. For the Phantom, but the Arrow is pretty much good from the factory. It should be. Well, I won't really know until I sit on them, though, too, and ride them around. However, I would definitely like to get those too. But that's my video for today on the Honda Shadow 750, the Arrow, and the Phantom. I keep saying it slow so I don't mess up. It's kind of hard. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you are liking these videos and you want more of more specs and more if I have direct comparison of models and stuff, I don't mind doing it. That's a wasp. I want to make sure I don't get stung. And y'all have an amazing day. I love you all. Peace. I will talk to y'all next time. Roy's out.